All right, good morning, everybody. I'm RK. I'm here to do I'm going to give you guys a little treat today. I'm going to go through our new DFS Army NHL research station. We got a nice four-game slate, which is perfect for Pick'em. And so I want to do a little video for you guys for Pick'em. DFS Army, get in the Slack. Get in. Let on the conversation. We have some great coaches that really analyze this stuff. I'm going to do a theoretical cash lineup. I'm not going to give you my cash lineup tonight, but this is early thoughts on how we're going to go here. So, first thing we do, let's look at our matchups. We got Pittsburgh home against the Capitals. Matt Murray projected to start. Come back from injury, gave up 2 goals in his first game back, got the win. Season long, 3 goals against average, 905 save percentage. Not a great win percentage. Pittsburgh was not great early season, but they're definitely turning it up. Power play best in the league. Adjusted power play last 21 days, 26%. Still not slouchy. Washington playing pretty good lately. 317 goals for, 283 goals against. Last 21 days. 274 goals against and a 907 save percentage in 4 games for Holtby. We got the Hurricanes heavily favored against Detroit. Detroit is just not good. 188 goals for, 25 goals against. Their defense over the last 8, they're not giving up goals. This their backup goalie, 2 shutouts in his last 4 starts. 3-0-1. I don't know where to go there because I like some of the offensive players from Hurricanes, but then look at Darwin. Scott Darwin projected to start. He's pretty leaky. You got no offense in Detroit to attack a bad goalie, and you got an okay offense in Carolina. It's going against an awesome goalie right now, a really hot goalie. San Jose, really hot defense, going into Columbus to face Bob. Which Bob are we going to get? Are we going to get early season Bob that posted 4 shutouts that has a 245 season long, or are we going to see current Bob that's 1-2-1 with a 298? Vegas. Vegas offense always hot, but they're road back-to-back going into Minnesota. I believe I saw a stat last night that the Wild might be the only team in their division they have not beaten yet in 2 games. So, Subban getting to go tonight as a backup. He held down the fort while Murray was out. 11-2-1 on the season. Not too shabby. Dubnik's not too shabby himself. So this is why you want to be in Slack. Looking at these numbers, there's stuff that stands out, but when you get deeper into it, all of these games could go either way. Capitals could go in and smash the Penguins. Detroit could get the win in Carolina. Uh, you know, Sharks and Blues, that's a toss-up to me. Vegas and Minnesota, I mean, everything says Vegas, but Minnesota just seems to have their number, and again, on the road back-to-back. So uh, it's not easy to pick a goalie tonight. It's going to be tough, but luckily with Pick'em, we don't care about goalies. We only want to look for goalies to attack. So, going to the research station, go to tiers. All right, got everything broken down. Season-long stats, last 21 stats, shots on goal, block shots. This is the awesome awesome stat for Pick'em because this is where your floor comes from. Look at this. When you have 4 players in a tier, every single person creating a lineup tonight has their choice of these 4 players. They must choose one. So what happens if all 4 of them dud? It's absolutely possible that Ovechkin, Burns, Kessel, and Malkin go the entire night. Not a single point between any of these 4 players. It is absolutely feasible. So where are your points going to come from then? Shots and blocks. Burns, absolute stud. Fucking best player by a mile on this whole slate when it comes to that stat. 42 shots. He has double the shots of the offensive powerhouses in this. I mean, Kessel, Malkin, and Ovechkin are no slouches. He has double the shots of Ovechkin. He has nearly double Kessel. He has nearly close to double Malkin. That's just in shots. And then as a defenseman, he's getting the blocks as well. The guy's fearless. Uh, a goal, 11. He's not scoring, but he's getting the assist. All those shots are leading to rebounds. He's a passer too. He's a playmaker. 1.2 points per game in his last 10. Cash lock. That's my advice today. Cash lock. Nearly every time. Okay. Tier 2. Logan Couture for San Jose. Mile ahead of Crosby. Sidney Crosby, 22 shots, 5 blocks. Couture, 6 blocks, 33 shots. Crosby's getting the points, though. 2 goals, 11 assists. Don't always need the shots. He's getting the points. But, again, floor, upside. Couture has the floor. Crosby has the upside. Depends on where you want to go tonight. Tier 3, Hornquist. Carlson, pretty close. Now, here's the thing. When you go to the projected lines tab, Pittsburgh gives you some very unique options as where you have Kessel on line 3 sharing a power play with the studs from 1 and 2. Kessel's no slouch either. Look at this. 2 power play goals, 4 power play assists. His stats aren't on here because he's on line 3. We go to the tiers, though. Oh, I lost him. Where'd he go? Oh, yeah, tier 1. This guy's on line 3. He's in tier 1. 28 shots. You know, what do we say? 2 power play goals, 4 power play assists, 3 goals, 9 points total. So most of his production's coming from the power play. Why? Because he's sharing it with Crosby, Letang, Malkin, and Hornquist. All right. So you have a lot of options with Pittsburgh because, especially like you take a guy like Letang who's on D. So 5-on-5, you're going to exposure to lines 1 and 2. Once the power plays come in, that brings in Kessel on 3. So lots of good combinations with their power play. Whereas a team like Vegas, they keep their main lines together. So they just drop a defenseman and bring a third liner up, and their power play 1 is their line 1. Their power play 2 is line 2. Nothing fancy there. Minnesota, they just take combinations of 1 and 2 and mix and match them. A lot of teams do that. San Jose, same thing. You basically have all line 1 plus Burns and Pavelski. Some power play 2, you get some line 3 exposure coming up. Look at this. Columbus got a line 4 guy on their power play. So, all right. So here we go. Hornquist, 27. Carlson, 25. I prefer, if you want to go to Pittsburgh route, Hornquist is definitely a great guy to stack with Pittsburgh because you're getting a line 2 guy that's going to share the power play with line 1. You're going to get Kessel exposure, Crosby exposure. You're going to get Letang exposure on the power play and the 5-on-5. Carlson, I just like Vegas. Vegas 1 and 2 is always in play. I prefer Vegas 1. I like riding Carlson and Marshall Salt. I will play Hula and Neal now and then for some exposure to that second line, just as a hedge. But so tier 4, there's our James Neal, highest total. Upside goes to Granlund, Minnesota. So again, where's your confidence? Do you want to play Vegas or do you want to play Minnesota? Seth Jones with Columbus, 31 is a pretty good number for a tier 4 guy. This is the standout. All right, Pick'em has no salary. Value does not matter in Pick'em. This is value. When you have a guy that has 48 shots and block total, 28 blocks, 20 shots on goal, he's getting nearly a point a game. This is, as Fantasy Football Geek would say, tuna with a coupon. This is the closest thing you're going to see to value in Pick'em. When you have a guy that should be, with those numbers, these are tier 1 and 2 numbers, and the guy's in tier 7. Another lock. Now here's the cool thing with that. Go back to our lineups page. Vlasic is line 2 defenseman pairing and power play 2. He has no correlation at all with Brent Burns. Burns covers these guys. 5-on-5 with the power play. Vlasic is going to get some time with line 2 and line 3. And he's going to be on power play 2. All right. Zero correlation between Brent Burns and Vlasic, but they are a great combination to play because that gives you exposure to nearly every possible goal that the Sharks can score. At least potential exposure. I mean, just because they're on the ice doesn't mean they're going to get the point, but unless line 4 is scoring, it's the only time these guys probably won't be on the ice when it happens. So, that's our thoughts there. We've been riding Pickles, as he is affectionately known in the DFS Army Slack. We've been riding him pretty hard, and there's a reason for it. I mean, when you look at his actual value, 4,400 on FanDuel, compared to Burns at 7,400. And he's only 11 shots and blocks behind him. The value's incredible with him. All right, so let's look at our stacks. Where do we want to go? So we talked about San Jose. This is why I like 4-game slates. 4 to 6 game slates, I think, are the perfect format for Pick'em because you get plenty of options. You can take full lines for most teams. You can mix and match. When you look at the 12-game slate like we had last night, you might get 2 players in tier 7 and 8 for a team. Sometimes you only get 1 guy. Makes it very hard to find some correlation. You end up overlooking players that you actually do want to play. Now, here's the trick with Pick'em, though. As much as you want to correlate and everything, you got to remember, if you're going to win a tournament, you need the highest scoring player in each tier. All right? So that might be Ovechkin and Couture and Aho and Granlund. It might be, out of 8 tiers, 1, 2, 3, you got 8 teams. It might be every tier has a different player from each team end up being the highest point total in that tier. Anything's possible. But when you go with the correlation, if Marchessault gets a goal and Carlson gets the assist and Smith gets the assist, that same reason you stack in Classic. I mean, so anyway, all right, let's look at our stacks. Vegas. So let's say I want to take Vegas 1 tonight. So that automatically tier 2, 3, and 6, I'm going to lock them in. Marchessault, Carlson, and Smith. All right, so what's left? 1, 4, 5, 7, 8. So then we just go right back to our sheet here. All right, Brent Burns, I'm locking him into. Not even going to look. Not even going to look to see if I want to stack San Jose yet. I'm just locking Burns in. So what we got? 4, 5, 7, and 8. We're half done already. That fast. That quick. All right, so we got Larkin and Andreas. Detroit. I don't want any Detroit. Hurricanes. Teravainen and Skinner. Don't correlate. Don't share power play. Skinner's a line 3 guy. Seth Jones and Panarin. Possible if you want to go that route with the Jackets. Could take Hull and Neal. Could really do a super stack with Vegas. I don't recommend that, but the possibility's there because you can fit line 2 in there. There's no having to make a choice. Where are we at? 4, 5, 7, 8. So then what else is left? So Hurricanes. Rask Williams can fill in 7 and 8. Neil Panarin, Foligno. There's 4, 5, and 8. You know what? Let's go with Vlasic and 7. This makes it a little easier. Now we only got 3 tiers to fill, 4, 5, and 8. So where are our options? You go to the sheet. I mean, once you pick where you want to go, everything just starts to fall into place. It's really nice, easy layout here. So, you want to fill in 4, 5, and 8. There you go. These guys correlate. Oops, broke my sheet. All right, these guys correlate for 4 and 5. And then here you go. You got a guy in 8. You take Green or Bertuzzi. You can fit them in. Blue Jackets, Jones, Panarin, Foligno. There you go. Jones, Panarin, Foligno. There you go. Look at the taking that sheet, just taking a quick look at the tiers and seeing where your studs are, and then filling in the gaps. Using the matchup sheet to see what offenses you want to target. Once you get started, if you follow along here, everything starts to fall into place once you pick. Let's look at where we ended up. So we got Burns and Vlasic, gives exposure to all of San Jose. We got Vegas 1, and we got Columbus 1. All right, that's simple. We could have easily popped these guys out and go with Detroit 2. Can drop in, you can go with Mike Green. All right, you can drop all these guys and just say, okay, you know what? I still want Crosby exposure. I'm going to get my Crosby exposure in tier 8 with Simon. Because again, if you look at our lineups, projected lines, there's Simon on the wing. He's got 4 goals and 1 assist skating with Crosby. So, all right, guys, DFSArmy.com, coupon code KICKSAVE. It's going to get you 10% off the lifetime of your membership. Chop a donkey's chalk. Who else we got here? R. Flynn. These guys put out articles every day. You see them on Twitter. These guys, and Shady. Shady doesn't have much. Shady doesn't get on Twitter, but I mean, the guy's a master when it comes to picking players. We got great coaches. We're gonna get you on the right plays. You know, I keep this sheet updated every day. The tools are there. Don't know what you're waiting for. Get on in here. All right, guys. Good luck tonight.